All right, we're going to be in 2 Samuel. You can go ahead and turn there if you want to, and we're going to be in chapter 24, and we're in a sermon series called Step Out. Okay, so we're stepping out. It's all about the steps. You got to take some steps. Now, what are we stepping out of? Well, what we're stepping out of really is our comfort zone, okay? And we don't like stepping out of our comfort zone. There's reasons why we call it a comfort zone. Because we are what? Because we're comfortable. We're in this comfort zone. We're comfortable. We like it here. Even if it's boring or even if it's miserable, or we like it. It's comfortable. We understand it. We know it. But everybody in the Bible that makes any kind of difference in the lives of other people, they have to step out of their, all right, come on now. They step out of their, that's what they got to do. We got to move. If we don't step out of where we are, we're going to stay in exactly the same place. We're so easily fooled into thinking that success, this is what we talked about last week, that success is our significance. And it's not necessarily. Our success is not our significance unless we use our success for significance. Okay, so we can't get fooled into thinking that success is what my significance is, right? We have to measure it. We got to make sure we know that we are contributing. You don't want to get 30 years down the road, look back on your life and go, man, I just didn't change anything, do anything, produce anything, help anybody. You know, my life hasn't really meant anything. I'm all the way up here at the top of the ladder, but nobody cares. See, you don't want to be there. Success is not necessarily significant. It's what we serve and what we seek that determines our significance. It's what you're after in life. And that's why the Bible says, seek ye first, right? Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. Seek something about God. Search for something about God and put your life in that direction. Then significance will never be a question. That's good. Today, I want to talk to you something different. I want to talk to you about responsibility, okay? And this is kind of a crazy thing, but it's probably the most important thing, how responsibility creates significance. Or we have to step out, right, in order to assume responsibility that we currently don't have. We have to step into this thing called responsibility. Responsibility creates significance. Where you don't have any responsibility, you won't have any significance. You won't have any significance if you don't assume responsibility. We have on the East Coast something called a Statue of Liberty. That's it. Statue of Liberty or a Statue of Freedom. You know, and I was thinking about this. Statue of Liberty, Statue of Freedom. We got this statue out there, but it really doesn't tell the story. We should have two statues. We should have a Statue of Liberty, and we should have a statue of responsibility. Because you can't have freedom without responsibility. And that's one of the problems right now is we're trying to have all this freedom and nobody wants to take responsibility. Okay, and what the Bible is going to say is you got to take responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, you can't do anything for God. And so in 2 Samuel, there's going to be this story, and it's about David. And there's this plague that's going on, and he knows what he needs to do. He doesn't have to do it, but he knows what he needs to do. But it's going to cost him, but he knows what he needs to do. The question is, will he do it? Will he do it? Does he take the responsibility or not? Does he step into significance or not? And so I'm going to read the story for you. If y'all will stand up with me, that would be awesome. Araunah said, "Why has my lord the king come to his servant? To vie your threshing floor," David answered, "so I can build an altar to the Lord." that the plague of the people might be stopped. And Araunah said to David, let my lord the king take whatever he wishes and offer it up. Here are the oxen, here are the burnt offerings, here's the threshing sledges and the ox yokes for the wood. Your majesty, Araunah gives all this to the king. And Araunah also said to him, may the Lord your God accept you. But the king replied to Araunah, no, I insist on paying for it. I will not sacrifice to the Lord my God burnt offerings that cost me nothing. This is the word of God for the people of God. You know, one of the things I love about David is he's stepping out, right? He's stepping out. Now, he's the king. He doesn't have to do this. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to take responsibility for this problem. He's not the one that's sick. Those other people are dying. He could just let them die. But he's thinking in a different kind of way. See, he's wanting to anybody know? He's going to take a step. See, he doesn't have to take a step. See, this is the problem right there. Right there, that's the problem. See, I'm thinking like the more responsibility we take, the more valuable our lives become. The more significant we become. The more of a purpose we have. It's, you know, our prayers go a lot like this. God help me, I need to pay the rent and I need to do. It's not what we ask of God that makes us significant. It's what God asks of us. Are you with me? I don't think you got that one, really. It's not what we ask of God that creates purpose in my life. It's not what I ask of God that creates purpose in my life. It's what God asks of me. Nobody knew who Moses was till God showed up in a burning bush and said, go get my people out of Egypt. I am asking this of you. Yeah, but I don't have time and I don't speak. I don't care what you say, Moses. This is what I'm asking from you. And see, that put him on the map. Little mother Mary, right? It wasn't what she was asking of God. It was what God asked of her that created significance in her life, created purpose in her life. It's not what we get from God. It's what we give to God that makes the difference. Anything you do that's of any value to anybody, anywhere, is going to cost. And you want it to cost. Because the cost testifies to the value of it. Oh, man. See, he says, I'm going to give you the ox. I'm going to give you the sledges, the yokes. See, what I love about that is he's not ambivalent, right? He's intentional. He's not saying, just let me know if you need any help and I'll do what I can, or no. He's named all the things. You take all this stuff and you can use it, you can burn it up, you can kill it, you do whatever you want to do with it. We need to be intentional about what, sometimes, you can just call me if you need me, or I'll be around, I guess. I don't know, sometime between 2 and 2:05, and I can maybe see what I can do by helping you out. Name it. See, each of you should give as you've decided in your heart to give, and not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. I remember when my daughter was getting married, It's like, you give to things that you value. And on a scale of 1 to 10, my daughter's pretty high up there on my value thing. And so she was getting married, and she said at one point, Dad, is it okay? Because this is costing a lot of money, And I didn't tell her what I said on the inside, okay? It was all on the outside. I said, and she said, is it okay? Is it okay with you and Mama and all that? And I was like, honey, listen, you're getting married once, and so we'll just go all out and you spend whatever, within reason, and it'll be fine. I said, it'll be fine. You just spend it and do what you want, because you are so valuable to me. It doesn't matter. We also, all right, also it works another kind of way. Not only do we give to things that we value, when we give to things, we value them more. Okay, it's all right, like if you have a car, right? And somebody just gives me a car. I don't have to sacrifice anything for it. I don't pay the insurance on it. I don't even put the gas in it, And then so I get in that car and I'm like, I like it, but it's not like, it's my baby. But if I've got to save up, if I've got to work nights, it doesn't matter what it really looks like. It's like I'm in love with it. I'm waxing the rust on it, and just trying to, but I value it so much more. Why? Because I've invested in that thing. So this idea, right, that we value what we invest in, it works both ways. Now, may the Lord your God accept you. Now this we need to pay attention to right here, because we don't think this way. See, they're making decisions based on God's acceptance. And too much of the time, we are taking that for granted. That God accepts you. See, we take that for granted. And we're not making decisions that please God. We're not making decisions that please us. And we're taking for granted that God's going to love us anyway. See, that right there, that's no good. That's not the way it works. We need to live lives that are pleasing to God. We need to live lives and make decisions that are acceptable to who? To God. We can't just take for granted somehow that God's got to love me anyway, no matter what. No, he doesn't. We can't just live any way we want to live and think God is just this, I don't see it, it doesn't count, it doesn't matter. There is hell. There is hell. If there's a heaven where we are in relationship to God, then there has to be a place where we're not in relationship to God. And it's all based on his will. Are we willing? Not everybody who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of God, but those that do the will of my Father. And see, we are taking God's grace. We are so programmed to think that, it's not somehow performance salvation or that kind of thing. We are so programmed to think that means I don't have to do anything. Yes, it does. Okay? It does mean you have to do something. You have to lose your life for his sake in order to gain it. That is the Bible. It is God's grace and God's mercy that should compel me not to use him as if he, were some little waif or something like that. No, not to use him, but actually to value that grace and value that mercy so much that I want to live a life that is pleasing to him, that is acceptable to him. Okay. No, this is David. No, I love this. No, I will not sacrifice to the Lord that which costs me nothing. It's like they're fighting over who's going to pay the price. You know what's not there? There's a... And I want to get this straight, because we're, building a sanctuary and all this. And what's not there is this, all you want's my money. All you want's my money. Oh, I've heard this before. It's a bait and switch, and y'all gonna say all love and this, and then you're gonna just try to get my money. Well, let me help you out with that, okay? If it's your money, keep it. That solve the problem? Keep your money. If it's your money, by all means, do not give it to the church. Don't give it to the church. I don't want it, because if you give your money to the church, you're going to think we owe you something, right? Or you got a right to be demanding and all. Man, keep your money. We do not want it. Wouldn't do us any good even if you gave it to us, right? But if it's God's money, by all means, serve God with it. We clear? Yeah, all right, that's good. Because here, I got one for you right here. All right, the Lord answered his prayer. See, you're not going to outgive God. You're not going to outgive God. You're not going to somehow invest in something and God turn around and, cheat you on the deal. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, I got a couple of things. So we're talking about responsibility here, and we got to take responsibility. And one of the questions is, for what? What do you take responsibility for? And I'm happy to answer that question. The first thing is this. It's going to be profound, okay? Take responsibility for offering it up. It up. What's it? Whatever it is that's going to solve the problem. Whatever is going to solve the problem that is in your life that you see. If it's a hungry person, what do? You feed them. Do you talk about feeding them? Do you intend to feed them? Or do you just feed them? There, you just feed them. Take responsibility. Arana, listen, he offered it up. He put a name on it. I'm going to give you the floor, the oxen, the sledges, the yokes. He offered it up. David offered it up. Jesus offered it up. And the it was his life. He offered it up, and the it was his life. Man, we got people all over this church offering it up. Paul offered it up. What was his offering? And he even named it as an offering, right? 2 Timothy 4, I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought the good fight. I've finished the race. I've kept the faith, and there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. But not only me, but all those who have longed for his appearance. I mean, he just offered it up. It wasn't just his time. It wasn't just his money. It wasn't just his reputation. It wasn't just his occupation. It was everything he had. Stephen, Acts chapter 7, offered it up. Susan Hefner and Don Hefner with Belize and building that school and doing that ministry down there, offering it up. Christina in the children's ministry over there, offering it up. Chad Freitag really taking on small groups, offering it up. Air Q Banks, offering it up. What? Whatever it takes. You got people all over this church offering up whatever it takes to get the job done. Offer it up. It's an opportunity, not an obligation. To what? To opportunity to what? To please God. I know we don't think that way. We're not thinking, we're thinking, what am I going to get out of this? What's in it for me? How am I going to benefit? No, God, it is my opportunity to please the God I say I serve. I say I serve God. The question is, am I serving God? Well, this is an opportunity to serve God. It's not an obligation to serve God. It's a get to, not a got to. Okay, how do you offer it up? Put a name on it. Put a name on it. See, if you stay ambivalent about it, you never actually do anything. Put a name on it. See, you got to say what you're going to do. Write it down somewhere. Put it on. I wrote some stuff in my office. I put it on the board. I see it every single day. Put a name on it. Intentions, actions, not intention. Actions, not intentions, determine your direction. Okay, 2, take responsibility for the solution. Now, there's 2 reasons we don't do this. See, we don't want to take responsibility for the solution because we don't want to get tied up in it. Because, I might want to go to Disney World sometime, and this might interfere. Or I might want to go on vacation, or I might want to, I don't know, watch TV. Or we're so selfish, we don't want to give away anything we don't have to. Okay, that's one reason we don't take responsibility for the solution. But there's another reason, and this is an important reason, because we don't want to get sniped at by the snipers. Okay, have you seen this one before? Where somebody says, yeah, you know what, I'll take it on, or I'll paint the parking lot, or I'll, fix the restroom. Marty Houston is building a drum case back here. All right, he's not there, but at his work, he's doing an amazing job. And he said, you know what, we got a problem back here. I'll take responsibility for it. I'm gonna build the drum case myself. But see, what can happen there is you can get your snipers who go, that's not the way I would have built the drum cage. Well, that's not how, nobody said anything to me about. See, Christians can be the enemy of Christians, right? We can be critical and judgmental and accusatory and all these things. See, accusers don't count. It's people who are actually putting themselves in the middle of the problem, trying to find a solution, trying to work that thing out to better somebody else's life. That's the person that counts, okay? Be careful who you're sniping at. Be careful who you're complaining about. Be careful who you're condemning. That person may be somebody that's stepping out there trying to take responsibility for the solution. Help them out, right? Help them out. If you got an idea that'll make it better, help them out. See, the devil don't want you doing that, though. That's why he's got the snipers to start with. He don't want you taking responsibility for it. He wants to keep you silent. He wants to keep you insecure. He wants to keep you insignificant, right? He wants to keep you, without power. He don't want you doing anything for the kingdom of God. He doesn't want you to be able to risk anything. He wants you to stay in your comfort zone for fear of failure. All right, last thing. Take responsibility for the cost. Take responsibility for the cost. Like, want it. Anything that's good, it's gonna come at a cost. I mean, are you man enough to take on the cost? Everything we know about the kingdom of God, everything we know about heaven says this, that you will regret, I will regret the things we did not give to God while we were on this planet. While we were on earth, we will regret all the money we didn't give to God, all the time we didn't give to God, and all the talent we did not give to God. What does Jesus say? Jesus says, look, you need to store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, not treasure on this earth. Everything you give to God, you get to keep. Everything you keep for yourself, you lose. He couldn't say it like any plainer. He tells the story about the man who was very successful in his business, and he filled up his first barn, and then he had an opportunity. He could say, I'm gonna take the surplus, and I'm gonna give it to these people, and I'm gonna serve God over here, and I'm gonna take care of these people, and I'm gonna serve God over there, and I'm gonna really benefit these people over here. Or I could build another barn, and I could store up even more stuff. Woohoo! And then he decided, that's what I'm gonna do. And then you know what Jesus says? He says that man is a fool. He says, that guy is a fool. He doesn't mince words. He doesn't say, yeah, he just didn't really make the right decision. No, he says, he's an idiot. Right? He lost his marbles for making that decision. Jesus tells another story in case that wasn't enough for us to know. He tells a story about a rich guy in his house over here and a poor guy that's outside the fence. And every day the rich guy walks by, the poor guy pretends like he doesn't see him. And he's got everything he needs and even more than what he needs. But this poor guy over here doesn't have anything. And then the story ends by saying this. And you know, Jesus is not against wealthy people. He's against greedy people. You hearing me? Because it's a pollution of the heart. He says about the rich guy, that guy goes to hell. Yes, I still say hell in church. He ends up in hell. This other guy ends up in heaven. I mean, I'm trying to shoot a warning shot over the bow of your life. What are you taking responsibility for? How are you using your resources? Are you using it to glorify God or using it to glorify yourself? Jesus himself paid the cost, right? God, you know the heart of God? The heart of God is, I pay the cost. I pay the price. The Son of God comes to earth, right? And he gives himself up. And not just death, but torture. Not just torture, but the status and the humiliation and the loss of credit and everything we value. He was drained of all of it. Not so we could sit here and go, mine, mine, mine. Not so we could do that. He went and did that, not so we wouldn't have to, but to show us how. To show us how to love each other, to show us how to pay the price. That the cost creates a significance. And there is no human being ever in the history of humanity that has been more significant than this person who lived to be 33 years old, and his name was Jesus, in a little backwater town called Nazareth in Israel. Nobody. Because he knew it was about taking responsibility. And he took responsibility for everybody so that each of us would take responsibility for somebody. Just somebody. You don't have to take responsibility for everybody, but somebody. Y'all with me today on this? You good? Stand up if you would, please. I'm going to give you a benediction. All right, now to that God who is able to do immeasurably more than you could possibly ask or imagine. That God is giving you a reason to keep your head up. He is giving you a reason to keep your shoulders back and a reason to keep your chest out, because it's all going to be all right. Okay? Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Amen.